Shout out to Black and White Network. I love that channel on YouTube. I was just watching a video of a former Navy SEAL from many years ago, and he, in a sense, made headlines, became famous because he announced that it's a 20-year Navy vet. He announced that he was going to be transitioning male to female, and it's amazing how in this country he was being championed for doing that. The stunning and brave. This is what, and I just alluded to a previous video I just uploaded. I think it was today, about Victor Bout, and that Victor Bout was just so disgusted with America because of what she has become and how much American society has degraded from where it once was, when he called it a example, in a sense, like that beacon of hope for all immigrants. What I label it as it once was. Beacon of hope for immigrants, people coming over to New York City Harbor, stuff like that, or Los Angeles, Miami, and Southern. But yet, so this former Navy SEAL, this 20-year veteran, and I'm a veteran of the United States Navy, so it really kind of hits me as well. It really leads me to think, and should lead everyone in my listening audience to think as well, to just really ponder. Like, this guy was quiet. Well, the media was quiet about this guy. I don't want to expect it for military personnel to be, put in the spotlight. Okay, I get it. Yeah, we do this thing. We military. We defend our country, and we don't want any accolades. And he was when I remember when I'm walking through the airport and people say, "Hey, thank you for your service." And I'm like, "All right, okay." It was like it kind of gave me an uncomfortable feeling when people would say, "Thank you for your service." So when people say that, and then but yeah, he was being championed for transitioning. Think about like Caitlyn Jenner, when he came out. And ESPN gave him an ESPY for Woman of the Year. And then, as I mentioned in the previous video, I actually haven't uploaded yet, about Lorraine Hubbard in the Olympics, and then the University of Pennsylvania, I think that's what the school, the Pennsylvania swimmer in college, being champion, but yet all the women didn't even want to be part of his photo op. And then women in high school are taking away scholarships from, men are transitioning supposedly and taking away scholarships from those high school girls who are running track and playing other sports and stuff like that. But yeah, this stuff is being championed by the current administration, and it should really cause people to just wonder, like, why. Like, people have said in jest, we're ready for the asteroid to come now, because this country, I can't say anything about the rest of the world. I haven't seen the rest of the world. I haven't been out into the world per se, traveling globally in 12 years. So I don't know what's going on. All I know about is a little bit of stuff was happening in Ukraine and China and Burma and the Middle East and places like that. And so this person was being championed, but yet he came out recently saying he was going to be detransitioning because of the horrors of transitioning and what it led to. It reminded me immediately about the man transition to a woman. I think I got it right, or a woman transition. I don't know, but the transition person on the Matt Walsh interview, "What is a Woman?" documentary, "What is a Woman?" and that person was saying that of all, the chemicals and the hormone therapy and all of this stuff that he went through was horrible and terrible, just on his body, and he lost knocked off 20-30 years of his lifespan because of that. And the constant, it's a constant dosage of hormones and all kinds of, and chemicals that the body will just keep rejecting because this stuff is not normal. This stuff is obviously, it's clearly unscientific, even though, Biden, administration says trust the science. Well, what about this science? No, we ain't gonna talk about that science. No. Like, what? And then the CDC here in Atlanta just was so quick to call birthing people instead of women. Women for the entirety of humanity have been the only people who can give birth. Birthing people. You change all of that. And then, so what's going on, and I know for a fact, if this does get into the mainstream news, that person will be outcasted. He will be labeled a bigot, a transphobe, a hater, whatever. Like the video of a man in Los Angeles, a Korean spa in LA. It was like a year ago or two, and a woman was so outraged that this man came into the Korean spa, which was all female, and he just had his, like Officer Tatum calls it, his jangling right there exposed, and there was women of all ages, elderly women, middle-aged women, and there was two little girls, like a preteen girl, I think 11 and 13, and it just had his jangling just all out, and full beard. I mean, it didn't look like me, but no, it was a 9 o'clock shadow or 5 o'clock shadow. I don't know what it's called. Well, yeah. So, and this woman was so outraged, and then there was another woman who was protesting at that spa the next day, and she was just transphobe, and had her hat knocked off and a whole bunch of foolishness by the protesters. I'm like, wait a minute, what about the girls though? What about the girls that were shocked by this? They don't need to see that. 11 and 13 years old, they don't need to see that. I mean, none of the women wanted to see that, I would think. Because this is an all-female space, but yet this is what's going on, and this is what's being paraded by this administration, by the woke society of all of the, and if you even think about it, of the whole LGBTQ, MIA, elemental P, BMW, HDTV community, the T are the ones being most championed. Like, if you're a T, then you get pushed to the front of the line. Even more so than, say, than Brittany Griner, who's a black lesbian woman. If you're a T, you get pushed to the front of the line. You get preferential treatment above everybody. I remember the video. I know this is getting long, but of a woke class. There's a rational thinking man entered a college, and it was a woke class. I wish I could find that video. And people were just so triggered by everything he said. And from the teacher to the I think there's like one female student, and then there was a guy. He looked like he was Oriental, and he was like slow, mentally slow, and had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So he's like, oh man, and the teacher was like, oh, we're gonna give like kind of like the woke, and like a man and a manosphere, Joker, better bachelor. What he says, this is a foot race. This is like the oppression Olympics. If you're black, you're woman, you're homosexual. But then this guy, he's Oriental, and he's mentally slow, and he's fat and ugly. But you're a straight white male, so you get all negative points. Straight white heterosexual Christian male. I said straight twice. And so it's the oppression Olympics. The fastest, who's going to be the fastest to get to this point, to get to how oppressed I am, which is why CRT is being taught in schools, is warping our children's minds. So getting back, this man, I know for a fact, it's just going to be like a day, maybe it's like a week or so. Like I said, if it gets to the mainstream news and people start hearing about this Navy SEAL who's detransitioning, after however long he lived as a woman, it's just going to turn into a crap show, and he might even get, threats against his life just because of that. Just because people are so triggered, so easily bothered by stuff like that, even though it's clearly unscientific, that the CDC backs, that the Biden administration backs fully. Clearly unscientific, but yet this stuff is being touted as stunning and brave and and worth our attention, and it's not. Please get this stuff out of our public schools, indoctrination camps, out of our colleges. Please stop pushing this stuff in cartoons or children's cartoons that they like to watch, and children's movies and Disney and Pixar. And I don't think Pixar's doing it, but Disney definitely is doing it. Cartoon Network, plus like that. With their impressionable minds, they don't need to see this stuff. Please, I don't want to see this stuff. I'm a grown man, United States veteran myself. I don't want to see this stuff. So why would they, 3 years old, how could they at 3 years old or 12 years old, Dwayne Wade's son, Zaire Wade, whatever his name is, how could they know and make a life-altering decision at that age? If they want to go that route, then do that route when you're on your own, paying your own bills at your own space. But right now, these parents, these teachers, counselors, whomever, and unfortunately the VA who funded his transition with taxpayer dollars, this stuff is just lunacy. It's bizarro world. Until next time.